few years ago, a couple of my friends introduced me to the work of dark journalist Daniel List, and ever since then I've never looked back in regards to finding out all I can in regards to the mystery school information, moving forward with that mystery school information in our world, in our reality, but also a really in-depth and powerful way to be introduced to some mystics, some researchers, some professors, some people who have enlightened me in so many ways in regards to so many avenues of existence and study and points of research and books to read and people to follow in regards to how of the expressions of many levels of existence embodied in avatars. To put it in a plain way of saying this, there are many people that I've learnt about through the work of dark journalist Daniel List that I have began to study myself, and with my own discernment have really come to a place of deeper understanding of the forces at work within our reality, within our perception of reality, and what we can perceive in regards to reality. One of those people is Gigi Young, and her work with the UFO File is just extraordinary, as much as Dr. Joseph P. Farrell's work and also Walter Bosley's work with the UFO File is just extraordinary. And I would recommend to anyone who is looking into the UFO File and to hidden and suppressed technologies and the use of the UFO File by defense contractors worldwide, but especially in the United States, to look at the work, and of course around the Nazi International, or the Nazi Party survival, the surviving Nazi Party, and the Second World War work around the UFO File by the Nazis, SS, and other branches of the SS, and the Nazi Party itself. I would recommend the work of Dr. Joseph P. Farrell, Walter Bosley, and of course Gigi Young, and dark journalist. So when I was looking at and listening to some of Gigi Young's work around the UFO File, she makes it quite clear that in her perception that a lot of what we see today in regards to UFOs, and have seen for a long time since the end of Atlantis, since the fall of Atlantean civilization, is a surviving group of Atlanteans. And Edgar Casey makes this case too in regards to what Ezekiel saw, his perceptions of what Atlanteans were using. Edgar Casey says, as dark journalist has said many times in many of his video casts, that Edgar Casey said that what Ezekiel saw was Atlantean, but at a much later date, which is about 6,000 years after the fall of Atlantis. So some group of people at the end of Atlantis, and remember, when Atlantis fell, there were survivors. Some of the survivors went to Egypt, went to Indus Valley, went to other parts of Central and South America. Others, went to other parts of the world, probably as well. Africa, Northern Africa, around the Egyptian region, further south, China. There were satellite states of Atlantis too. Atlantis wasn't one continent, it was a satellite. It had many satellite areas around the planet. Parts of that civilization were worldwide. In fact, the whole civilization of Atlantis was worldwide. So when the continent sank, there were still Atlantean colonies, you could say, or parts of that civilization that existed away from Atlantis. And there obviously were groups that kept the technology alive and have done for a very long time. Some of those people that were Atlanteans may have left our planet and gone into other parts of the solar system, may have gone interdimensional, may have left our solar system altogether and gone to other parts of the galaxy. And remember one thing too, in regards to Atlanteans. They would look like you and I, pretty much. They would look like you and I. They would be people. They would be I'm not going to use the word human because in the Black's Law Dictionary, it's a monster. They would look like us. They would look like people. And they might have a very different physiology due to the nature of the time that they were around in the Golden Age, potentially, and might have abilities that no longer in this dimension. If they come back here, they no longer have due to the nature of the descending Golden Age as well. Those abilities they may have had psychically, they may have had energetically, might not be able to be used in this dimension. So they'll use technology to be able to regain those abilities they would have lost potentially at the end of the last Golden Age, as they fell into the descending Golden Age. But remember this, and she says this as well, in regards to a lot of the UFO technology we see today, and what we consider to be UFOs, could be, and indeed are, Atlantean, and is, I should say, Atlantean technology that has been kept from the public by a small group of people, whether those be the Belial group, as Ika Casey says in his work, which is the Dark Magicians, or the Amelius group, which is the lighter Sons of One traditions. I guess you could say the white hats and the dark hats, if you want to look at that New Age description. So what we see today, and I fully understand in this, and when I feel into this, I feel as though she, Dark Journalist, Dr. Farrell, Walter Bosley, are all on the money in regards to what we're seeing, UFOs. And I've seen a lot of UFOs in my life. I've had many experiences. I've had some pretty wild experiences. I've had experiences that were intimate with beings that were non-physical that became physical. In 2020, I've had experiences with doing CE5 work as well, which has been interesting for me. Interesting CE5 work where I've had experiences with beings that resonate with my heart chakra energy, that have come into a space or a place or communicated with me in many ways with their heart chakra energy. And I wonder if the beings I communicated with throughout my life, by having that heart chakra energy and moving and projecting my heart energy from my heart chakra into what we consider to be space, inner and outer space. And of course, when I look at space now, I have a very different interpretation of what space is. But as I vet that out through the CE5 work which I've done, and I applaud it in regards to the techniques for me because they worked for me. I think they're amazing for me and my work that I've done with them. For other people, not so much, but for me, when I vector out from my heart vortex into deep space, I've had incredible experiences with beings, and I wonder if some of those beings that I'm connecting with energetically happen to be Atlanteans and not interdimensionals or extraterrestrial beings that are non-men or woman and have a different form to this biology. But I definitely have had experiences with humanoid but non-men or woman of this biology forms. And whether they knew me from, and when I was in another body, from Atlantis or for other lifetimes, or they recognize my resonance or the energy from my heart vortex is all up for debate. But I have to wonder, some of the craft that I've seen over the years, I've seen many all over the world, I have to wonder, knowing the knowledge that I do know now from Gigi Young, the knowledge from Dark Journalist, the knowledge from Dr. Joseph P. Farrell and Walter Bosley especially, I have to wonder if a lot of those craft that I've seen, a lot of those interactions that I have seen and have had, that were not revolving around my heart vortex, but were just moments of seeing craft, just in moments all over the world, if a lot of those craft were not Atlanteans from the Belial group just doing their thing in our reality, in our skies, or presenting themselves to me in a way that I was able to see them all over the world. And I have to wonder, I'm with my discernment now and me understanding this, I feel that maybe it's a 50-50 thing. And I do feel as though when you connect from your heart vortex and you use, if you choose to, the CE5 work, if it's going to work for you. For me, it's worked wonders. It's been incredibly powerful. If you choose to work with that, are you connecting with interdimensional beings, or are you connecting with a resonance from your heart vortex to Atlanteans that left our sphere, that left our planet, or are here on our planet, but are tuned to a different frequency, the heart vortex frequency, and that are still here and wanting to connect with us in a gentle way, in a connective way, and say that we are here, and if you choose to work with us or be with us or let us into your life in some way, we can help you to bring in the energy of your higher nature, to connect with you and not protect you, but to connect with you in a way that allows there for a two-way communication that can allow for them to come back into our sphere of influence, into our reality in a way that's not harmful, but aligns with the necessity for us to understand who we are, what we are, and our past in a way that empowers us. And I have to wonder now moving forward of how much of the technology we see, how much of the UFO activity that we see in the world today is actually back engineered or continuation engineered through defense contractors of this hidden technology, hidden away by defense contractors, by forces that choose to and want to create more control around our reality and a narrative of what reality is, and how much of those craft and that technology is Atlantean technology kept from the public and modulated, zhuzhed up by defense contractors. And if these craft and these Atlanteans have gone intergalactic or in our galaxy and are coming back here in this moment, they have all been asked to come back by the powers that be, connected with them across dimensions or time or space, and asked them to come back. Are we going to see in our lifetime, in the next few years in fact, a former Atlanteans from the Belial group coming back to our Earth and being aliens and calling us and saying, we're your progenitors, we created you? Are we going to see the Zachariah Sitchin, the Eric von Daniken, the Nazi Party line from the Second World War, from the SS, from the occult groups of the SS that Dr. Farrell wrote about, that Walter Bosley writes about, what Dark Journalist talks about, what Gigi Young talks about? Are we going to see the Belial group come back to our planet and ships, Atlantean ships, come back here and say, we are your progenitors and we're here to save you, we're here to save your planet, we're here to help you, and they intervene maybe in a cataclysmic event? I don't know, but it beggars the question for me, is that what we're going to see? Are we going to see a situation like the War of the Worlds, the Studio Canal 2019 War of the Worlds kind of scenario, where the future men and women from the future come back to this time in order to save themselves from a genetic abnormal dysfunction within their bodies, which causes them to get sick? Are we going to have a situation not necessarily along those lines, but the Atlanteans coming back here, like I said before, to show that they're our progenitors and save the day? But say, in order to save the day, we have to have this, and this, and the more control over our existence to keep us in a state of deeper control, and obviously to reenact where the Belial group finished off at the end of Atlantis, and continue on that negative, I wouldn't say life stream, but death stream of where they were at the end of the last ice age, and of course the end of the civilization of Atlantis before it fell due to a cataclysmic event, which could have been piggybacked upon. One more thing before I leave and leave you to get on with your lives. Gigi Young also says that a lot of the Atlantean technologies that are still around, including satellites that are surrounding our planet, are still there. And she says, and I totally dig this, what she says that the technology we're using today in regards to the powers that be, and the militaries and the defense contractors. They're doing their best to find a way to reconnect to that Atlantean technology, the satellites that are surrounding our planet and our solar system, the satellites that are out there, some of them with artificial intelligence within them. Potentially Oumuamua, this asteroid that supposedly that was, according to some astronomers, Avi Loeb I think it was, who said that this was Avi Loeb, or some astronomers said that this could be an extraterrestrial scout drone powered by AI coming around to check out our planet. But could it be that Oumuamua was actually an Atlantean technology that was sent out into the galaxy at the end of the last ice age and had come back to check out what was going on here? So that with the Atlanteans that are in other parts of the galaxy, if they aren't in contact with people on this planet within the control system, the Bilal group that is, if they were checking out to see what was going on here, and then at some point they want to come back here and, come back and take over. But, you have to wonder all these questions, and I've got so many to ask. And it's a pretty exciting time to be here to know and to discover more. But I would suggest the work of Gigi Young, Dr. Joseph P. Farrell, GizaDeathStar.com, GigiYoung.com, DarkJournalist.com, Walter Bosley, and these investigators, these researchers, these mystics are just the top-notch people to follow and whose work to read and to study in order to look at the UFO file in a way that is not only broad but also has an historical precedent, and their insights are off the charts. And it leaves me with more questions to ask around the UFO file, but those are my go-to in regards to the UFO file, those people and their research and their study and their insights and their knowledge. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mā te ua. I'll see you again soon.